Today I am finally fixing something on the WRX that has been driving me nuts for a long time. I finally got a set of Aerocatch hood latches to fix some sketchy hood latches that I built in the past. Thank you Rallysport for hooking us up, supporting the build. Guys, I'm gonna link the site below where I got these so that if you like them and you decide you wanna install some yourself after watching the video today, you've got a good spot to pick them up. So check this out. We've got a set of these hood latches on the 240SX that we're giving away. These holes were already in the hood when I got the car, and we just had to install new latches. They're super clean, they're really easy to use, they're smooth. You never forget your hood pins and have your hood fly up, because when you're sitting in the car, you can see these little tabs popped up and you know that your hood isn't latched. So you just can hop out, latch them down. These are locking ones. Since we don't know where this person who wins this car will be living, we decided to put locking ones on it in case they had to park it outside. On the Subaru, however, we have non-locking ones. Ooh, ooh, little surprise coming there. Usually what you will do on your car is find a spot along the core support where you will drill a hole through and mount the pin that sticks upward to. On this car, the hood is really round in the front and the hood latch is flat. So if you mount this close to the front of the hood latch kind of wobbles and looks all bad on the hood because it doesn't lay flush. So what I've done is I have built these, they're just mocked up in here right now. But I've built these little mounts that stand up where we will attach the pin that will then go through the hood into the latch. So on most cars, you don't really have to do this. You can just use the core support. I want the hood latch to land in a place that's flat on the hood so that when it's closed, it looks good. So that's why I've opted for this method. So we have one of those on each side. I'm not going to cover the welding and cutting and building of these, but we are going to cover today everything else for the install so that you can install hood pins on your car. Basically, the first step, since we're starting from scratch, is going to be removing this hood liner. This basically keeps your hood from getting super hot when your car's engine is creating a lot of heat, so you don't get burned on the top and stuff like that. But we're going to have to cut away some of this inner support so that our hood pin can go through it and we can mark the spots where we need to drill and cut the hood out. Okay, so I got my stands all tacked up and ready to connect the hood pins to, so that we can put one of these in the engine bay about where we think it will go, and we're gonna mark the hood with the pin and see if it lands in the right place. And then once we get that right, we can mount these in place, mark it when these are mounted, and then cut the hood according to where the pin lands. Got your measurements inside there if you need them. I have to clean these up, obviously. They're super rough right now. But I want to get everything in place and make sure it's all going to fit before I clean these up and paint them. So right now I'm just guessing on this height, but that's what's good about this kit is you can adjust these up and down a lot. These are really long pins, so you can trim them off if they're too long and get that height adjustment right. Now I'm going to take these magnets I have from wrapping the car and just set them on the bracket I built in order to hold it in place while I close the hood and see where it lands. What I'm hoping for is there's a line on the hood that follows the edge of this light, and you can see it right there. Basically, I want the edge of the hood latches to line up with that. So we're gonna wanna land over here a little bit, and I'll be able to measure this and see. So again, we're marking the hood and seeing where this lands and adjusting it until we get it right. But if I close the hood right now, I can't reach in here and mark it. So you have to put something on top of this that will mark the hood that doesn't permanently mark it. So I saw some guy using toothpaste to do it on YouTube, which is pretty funny. Like, I don't know if most garages have toothpaste, but I've got some white lithium grease, and that's what I'm gonna use. Now you can see when we close the hood, if this is tall enough to touch it, that little dab of grease is going to stay on the hood and mark where we've landed. See that little spot of grease? And that's from the top of our pin. So we're going to be landing on this support, and we can't have that in the way because the hood latch actually comes down into the engine bay just a tiny bit. So we're gonna have to cut this support out so that when we cut the hole for the hood latches and we mark where everything goes through, we have to do it on this final layer. All right, so now that I have those marked, I'm gonna bust out some goggles, Dremel drill with a cutting wheel. I'm actually interested to see how this works with an aluminum hood. I've never used it before on aluminum, so we'll see, but that's why I'm wearing eye protection. And then I'm also going to cover the engine bay up with a big blanket to keep all of the metal shavings out of the engine bay, since I'm keeping the hood on the car while I'm doing this. This thing just cuts through it like butter. Now, depending on where you cut, there's a little bit of glue holding these two layers of metal together. So you have to just find a razor blade and reach the glue spots so you can get the pieces out that you've cut. Okay, so here's our mark for this side, and that's where I'm gonna drill our center hole so that we can start cutting out around it. And then I'm basically gonna try and get that side to match it once this one's ready, because this one was more challenging to have space to actually put the pin and post. My battery died, and to spare you the boredom of watching me cut a hole in the hood, which was nerve-wracking, I'll just explain it to you. On the back of the box, there's instructions with measurements. See measurements. What I did was I made my own little template, as you can see here. After drilling a hole through the hood, you're able to align the template with the hole right there, and then you are able to align that with this nut ring. You'll mark the hood around the inside, and then voila, you will cut the hole. I decided to align mine with this line in the hood, and I thought that would look best with the body line. We'll see once it's actually installed. I honestly think I should have done them this way, and it probably would have looked a lot better, but with the space that we had under the hood and where we could locate the hood pin themselves, this locates the hood pin here rather than here, and that's what I had to do to make it work. So it's a super tight fit. I tested it already, but it fits pretty freaking perfect. So now I have to make sure it aligns with the hood pin and get the hood pin installed and drill the holes to mount this, and that side is done. All right, I got some more juice back in the battery. I'm basically doing everything in reverse from how you should be doing this and how the instructions say, but it's working, so check it out. I have marked up the hood because obviously I'm wrapping this hood and I don't care about it, but I have measured over from my body line, and then I have marked inside of this ring. So when I remove it, I know where to cut, and I have measured in reverse to make sure that when I cut this and insert the latch, I can basically do what I did over here, where I will then close the latch and hang the mounting pin down through here with my headlight out. And then what that allows me to do is use a center punch in here and just punch where I need to drill and drill new holes so that it lines up perfectly. And let's move this. This one worked really well. So you can see right there, that's how it works. What's up, hood latches? Now I don't have to worry about forgetting my hood pins and my hood flying up and smashing the windshield. Oh wait, yes, that really did happen. Wah, wah, wah. Old hood, new hood. Just gotta take this ugly scoop out too. This thing's garbage. I've got my JDM one up there on the shelf. So it is time to get cutting. There it is, last piece of this silver hood. Check it out. Fits in there, super nice. The line's a little bit distracting, but it looks very symmetrical. The line totally distracts and makes it look weird. And we're super close to it, but I think it's pretty on point. Next step is to put the screws down through with the ring on back. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? This ring, they call it like a nut ring. It goes on the back. Just like that. And then it holds your nuts in place while you put the screws down through and tighten it. It sandwiches the hood and keeps it secure. Check it out. They both latch. Somehow there's a miracle and they both line up. Ooh, solid. I am super pumped to be done with this mod. This took a lot of time to cut out those holes, but measure everything and make sure it lines up. It's a task for sure. So as far as a review on the hood latches, I really love the way they feel. They're really well built and they just are solid. Like, you don't like have to worry about your hood flying up or the build quality of these. You can be confident in them as long as you install them well and you tighten everything up. I've got to take out my support poles that I don't even know what to call these hood pin poles, and paint them. They're just raw metal right now. I don't want those to rust. I got some black spray paint. So I'm gonna take those out again and paint those, make them look super nice. Probably not super nice because my car's not a show car. And realistically, nothing on it's perfect because I've been doing it all myself and learning along the way. And that's what makes it fun. I'm super pumped on it. Now I can take these all back off, finish painting it, wrap the hood. I've got one more mirror left. And this car is done being wrapped. And I can take this thing out and shred it. I am pumped because it's been snowing like crazy. And we got a rally car on the channel. But there's a couple more surprises coming. Test fitting one right there. Got some spacers coming in the mail. And just gotta get some tires for it. I think you guys are gonna like what's coming and what's gonna happen with this car. So stay tuned. Of course, I got too excited to tell you what we're doing and I forgot to tell you why. So check it out, it's done. This is what it looks like and this is why I had to install Aerocatch hood latches. Not just because I thought hood latches were cool or something, it's totally excessive unless you need them. So here's the finished product. Got the Japanese STI hood scoop on, got the Aerocatch latches on, and I finished the hood wrap. Looks clean. So here's those posts I was talking about. I got those painted and installed. The reason I went with the Aerocatch hood latches is because I have a front mount intercooler, but it's mounted in my upper grill area. As you can see right there, there's the core. It's not down here. Similar to rally cars where they mount them up higher so that they're not getting hit with so much debris off the road and getting smashed by, you know, rocks or whatever you hit on a rally stage. But it also gives you shorter piping with all the benefits of a front mount intercooler. The only downfall is you can see right here where the stock hood latch used to bolt right there, and then it also had a support that ran down behind this piece of the bumper and mounted back here. I had to cut that out in order to fit my intercooler core, and therefore I didn't have a hood latch. So that's why I had to do aftermarket hood latches. And these things are so nice. They just feel right and work well. Super pumped on this install and this mod. They turned out clean, they look super aligned. The black and red is just looking so good. Hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. Stay tuned because yes, we are still giving away the 240SX. We just got multiple projects going on right now. And there is more rad stuff to come for the Subaru. Thanks for watching, guys.